Haribol.
Haribol, Maharaj, how are you today?
Good. Very good. Thank you.
Good. Good to see you.
Haven't had prasad yet?
Not yet.
I'm putting the plates out now, Maharaj.
Okay.
Why is the word Maharaj used, sir?
Huh?
Why is the word Maharaj? What is the meaning of Maharaj in this country?
A tradition we follow to distinguish between the devotees and the sannyasis.
Okay.
The sannyasi is called Maharaj, and the devotees are called Prabhu.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's okay.
It comes from tradition. I'm not sure why they did that.
Okay.
But anyhow.
Thank you.
The table can't go against the wall. Be careful.
One minute.
How are you feeling, Maharaj?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Sir, how did they know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the incarnation of Lord Krishna? How did they know that?
Okay. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually mentioned in the scriptures about 5,000 years ago.
Okay.
In one of the Upanishads, and it said he would be of a certain color and what his activities would be.
Okay.
So Mahaprabhu met those requirements, and of course his pastimes were so remarkable that no ordinary human being could be expected to exhibit such qualities.
Wow. That's unreal.
He was like tireless in his preaching and spreading of the holy names, that the whole of that area became converted simply by seeing him. Not only the devotees, but also the non-devotees, Mayavadis, Buddhists, other people, all became converted simply by seeing him.
Wow. Okay.
So he went one time in Kashi. He went to speak to some very learned devotees.
Okay.
And he sat and listened to them for 7 days. And after listening, he didn't ask any questions. And so the leader of that group asked him, he said, you're very effulgent. You look very beautiful and divine and very intelligent. But why you have not asked any questions, during my whole discussion?
Okay.
And he told them, he said, well, I did not want to interrupt you because you are very learned. I am a very simple person. But what I heard from you was not making any sense to me. So he says, I can explain these things in a very simple way. And he proceeded to explain the Vedanta and other things in a very simple way. And the pundit and all his associates were so impressed how you explain things in such a simple way. They all became converted by him. So like that.
Something, yeah.
And then when he was in Jagannath Puri, at the temple, the Puri temple, Lord Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra,
yes,
he exhibited such ecstatic symptoms that no one had ever seen. His limbs would be extended. He would be crying. He'd be doing so many things that people understood this was not an ordinary man. He, like a madman, he was exhibiting symptoms of love of God.
Okay.
And had not seen that before in anyone. And then many books and many disciples of great stature arose from his pastimes. At that time, there were the 6 Goswamis who were instructed by him and went to Vrindavan and wrote many books on the devotional practices and bhakti yoga. And then Krishnadas Kaviraj wrote an autobiography of Mahaprabhu. And in each of those cases, those devotees accepted him as an incarnation of God, because no ordinary man could perform that activities and that kind of knowledge that he gave. I like that, different ways of understanding from the devotees and from the scriptures and from the symptoms that Mahaprabhu exhibited, what was his true nature.
Okay.
So we have to study these things, and we can learn also from studying how his nature does qualify as an incarnation. When he disappeared, he entered the deity.
Okay.
Jagannath Puri, he didn't have a burial like the ordinary persons. And performed different miracles as well. When he was at one house of one of his devotees, while during the kirtan, his son died. This Grihastas, where Shantipur, the son died, and Mahaprabhu went into the room where the son was lying, and he picked him up and brought him back to life, because he was so touched by that devotees. He didn't tell anything to Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu didn't know the son had died. The gentleman there whose son it was so concerned that Mahaprabhu not be disturbed in his kirtan, that even his son died, he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything to Mahaprabhu. Then Mahaprabhu was so touched by his humility and his love that he went to that room where the son was lying dead, and he picked him up and he came back to life. So Mahaprabhu was satisfied that his devotee would not be disturbed by that. Well, like that, there are many different things. He walked, he went to the water, he drowned in the water, and the fishermen picked him out of the water, and then they took him back on the land, and seemed like he was dead. And they began chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, and then after some time he woke out of his drowned state, unconscious state, and he also began chanting. And when he was a child also, he would continuously cry. His mother didn't know what to do with him. And when the ladies would come and chant the holy names, he would stop crying. So they understood. He was teaching them that the holy names, chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, was the most important activity, spiritual activity in this Kali Yuga. Prabhu, you want to say the prayer?
Mahaprasadam Govinde Nama Brahmani Vaishnave Svapapunya Vitam Rajan Vishvaisho Naya Vijayate Mahaprasad Ki Jai. Jai Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Baladev Purnima Ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So you take prasad. I can come back and talk later.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you meet anyone on Sankirtan today?
When we were walking through the Hispanic neighborhood, there were a few people who were clapping and cheering us on.
Smiling and waving.
And smiling and waving. Little did they know that by next year they're going to be chanting with us in the street.
Okay.
And we passed by a restaurant too. People eating outside.
Reminds me, maybe the Hispanic neighborhood you went to, maybe they should know about the next street thing, for people to come.
We're going to put some flyers out there.
Okay.
Tony was mentioning that he saw in the one of the Princeton news things that next Sunday there'll be some kind of a cycling event, like a cycling event throughout Princeton, and that the cyclists will be staying at the Princeton YMCA. So it will definitely be more people there, whether or not they come to participate.
Uh-huh.
What time is the event?
It's a 2-day weekend event. The people are coming from all over New Jersey, and bicyclists are coming from out of town, and they're meeting in Princeton, and they're staying in a couple of places. One of them is the YMCA.
Oh,
Just cyclist, it's a cyclist get together event,
uh-huh.
Motorcycles?
No, the bikes.
Bicycles.
I tried it, but smartphone, I could look it up. Yeah, bicyclist coming from all over New Jersey, and even further than that.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So
Very nice. So they have a big,
more exposure, yeah.
yes, a big meeting of people.
Right.
And who else? You said there was another group there?
No, just the bicyclist. And I said, I was saying that maybe perhaps if the Hispanic neighborhood knows about the gathering on the Sunday, they might be interested to come.
Yes.
Because
Well,
that's
that's
very
the Y has made some announcement about the meeting on Sunday. So if they are in touch with the Y, they will also find out about it that way.
Yeah.
Are you now available, or are you still working, Tony?
No, I'm not. What is?
I mean, are you free during the week this week, or do you have to go to work?
No. First of all, I am working. Second of all, when you give the Facebook, there's a Facebook meeting. My phone is set up with Facebook. I don't have to sign on or log in. So I click the Facebook and everything pops up. But in the Facebook prayer, when I click, they're telling me to log on. I cannot log on. I don't remember my log-on IDs and stuff.
Okay.
I tried it a few times. It doesn't work. Yeah. Then I don't want to I don't want my Facebook to go out of whack. Thank you so much. I don't want my Facebook to go out of whack. Suspended or something. So I tried it. Facebook prayers. It's because it's telling me to log in. To make a long story short, my Facebook, I don't have to log in. I just click on Facebook, it pops up. Yeah, so I don't know how to manipulate that. Because if 3 tries, then it kind of cancels you or something. Then it becomes a problem. Yeah. So that's that during the week. That I saw you have prayers, but every time I try, it doesn't work. Yeah. There might be a way around it. That's great, because that's a perfect thing, because during the week you're sending out for prayers. That's perfect, because during the week you could have a little prayer for 5 minutes. That would really calm you down. I think that's great. But you know what? I think if somebody would connect with me in Facebook, then maybe send me the link. That might work. You know what I'm going to say? And my name is going somebody makes friends with me. Anybody from me, right? Then sends me the link in Facebook, and I just click it. Did that make sense? We can try it. Tony Pradan is my name. Yeah. You got it, right? Friend request, click on friend request, then click on that link.
Okay.
Because when people send things on Facebook,
Yeah.
I'm talking too fast.
Yeah.
But this one is going outside thing. It's only a log in, it tells me log in this. Yeah.
God.
But that's great. Like a 5 minute prayer during the week is good because it de-stresses you probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you know Srila Prabhupada? Who Srila Prabhupada is?
Me?
Yes?
Well, I've heard the name for decades, but I don't really know much about Prabhupada. No, I don't. If that makes any sense.
Oh, Srila Prabhupada, do you have that big picture?
Yeah. I know Prabhupada. I know. I'm sorry. I know who he is in pictures and stuff. Yes, I do. You know. Yes. I know for decades. And that's not what I meant. What I meant is I don't know.
Much
Well,
about him.
I know about Prabhupada because
Maharaj?
he was the person who.
What's up, Maharaj?
Prabhupada was the person who started.
ISKCON.
Yeah, right. He was. Yes, I've read about him.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm just not recalling because I wasn't in touch with him.
well, he was born on Janmashtami.
Right. Yeah.
So his
I like
birthday,
the life story. Yeah.
his birthday
It
is
reminds me of you a little bit. I mean, when I saw you first, back there, I got confused for a second.
okay.
I'm sorry. You remind me of facial resemblance, right? I'm right with the, I kind of like his story. I liked his life story, the sacrifice, all the sacrifices he did.
Yes.
Yeah, not
And his birthday is on Janmashtami.
wow.
And this year is going to be his 125th
Wow.
anniversary. So there's going to be a big celebration in ISKCON for Prabhupada.
Actually, 2 years ago, 2018, and somebody came from Long Island, a professor who's a professor about Hinduism. He came and spoke in Princeton, and he knew Prabhupada very well. Yeah, like as a matter of fact, they were together, like in Europe and stuff for some time, maybe France. Yeah, and he spoke about it. Yeah. 2 years ago in the Hindu religious life in Princeton, in the campus.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
I see.
gathering.
Oh, I remember. We remember him, right?
Yeah.
Yadubar. Yeah, that was Yadubar.
Yeah.
And anyhow, the Janmashtami this year will be the celebration also of his 125th appearance. So it's going to be a double celebration for us also. I am a direct disciple of Srila Prabhupada. I met him a number of times and took initiation from him. So he has a very special place in our hearts. And the name of the institute is named after him. Bhakti Vedanta Institute.
Yes, I for a second I lost. Yeah, I do know about him. I've read about him and have been to lectures.
So he was one of our inspiration for the Bhakti Vedanta Institute.
Okay.
And our work is offered to him, dedicated to him for his and gratitude for his love and affection for us and guidance in our lives. Actually, we have become Krishna conscious by his grace only. Otherwise, I never knew.
Yes.
Never knew about Krishna.
Yes, he started Krishna consciousness. Yes. I don't know. Yeah.
And it was only after many years that I came to Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami's godbrother, Sridhar Maharaj. Who's the other picture that Krishna Kesava Prabhu has there. The other picture is Sridhar Maharaj. That's the godbrother of Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. So we are always in the line, working in the line of Srila Prabhupada. Although ISKCON doesn't formally accept Sridhar Maharaj, we accept Sridhar Maharaj as part of the line of teachers. ISKCON does not accept him, but many of those devotees in ISKCON, they do respect Sridhar Maharaj as a saint, as a teacher of bhakti, and on a level with Srila Prabhupada, but formally they don't accept. And many times the ISKCON devotees don't like to come to the Sridhar Maharaj's association or the devotees. Unfortunately, they feel there's some difference. And there is a little difference, but nothing serious. We are also
Yeah,
followers of Srila Prabhupada. We have no problem accepting Srila Prabhupada and Srila Maharaj together. So Guru is actually not a sectarian belief. Guru is not sectarian. Not that he represents some religious sect. Guru represents Krishna. And Krishna is not a sectarian idea. Krishna means the supreme Godhead. The supreme Godhead. Or God. Is God sectarian? How can God be sectarian? We are sectarian, but God is not sectarian. So we're trying to explain what is God. How do we connect with that plane, the divine plane? Not in a sectarian way, but in a divine way, transcendental way, transcending all religious ideas. Religious ideas, sometimes people develop their own religious ideas in their own way.
Yes.
And or they become attached to a particular way they've been brought up or whatever. But that's not the universal idea. Universal idea is beyond any sectarian conception or belief. So the Muslims, they say Allah is God. The Christians say Christ is God. The Jews have the, what's this that called?
Yahweh.
Yahweh or Adonai. They call God by different names. But not that there are different gods, therefore. Our idea is they're not, they're just like, you can say cherry and apple and plum, all fruits, the different types of fruits, but they're all fruit.
Oh, I see.
So fruit is the common name, common denominator. And cherries and apples and so forth, plums and grapes, they're all different types of fruit. In the same way, religion is one, but there are different types of religion: Muslim, Hindu, and Jewish, and so forth. But still, they're all religion. But then we have to understand what is religion, not what is a particular religion, but what is religion itself, just like you want to understand what does it mean to be fruit. Understand there's a difference between understanding what it means to be fruit and what the different fruits are. To analyze a grape, that gives you one idea, but it doesn't give you the idea of fruit entirely, because fruit can be different than grape. Or if you say animal, now cow is an animal, horse is an animal, pig is an animal, but they're different. So to understand what is animal, that's a different story. A higher or universal understanding of things. So there's species and genus, and specimen. There are three things actually. There's the individual, there's the species, and there's the genus. We want to speak in scientific terms about things. So the genus is like mammal. The species would be like a cow, bovine. And the individual cow, that's another third thing. And that's the specimen. So the genus, species, specimen. That's how we classify things. That's how we think. That's how we organize our thoughts. So that highest species, that highest thing is called the genus. That's all comprehensive. That genus, mammal, is found in all types of animals and in all types of individual animals. Understand? So religion can be understood also in that very scientific way. Religion in general, and then the Catholic religion, the Jewish religion, the Muslim religion, and then the individual church or whatever, or individual person was practicing that. All these things are necessary. Most people don't think in that way. Most people think about, oh no, I'm a Hindu, or I'm a Catholic, or I'm a this, or I'm a that. And they don't know anything else. They don't think any higher than that. They may know that somebody else is a Muslim or somebody else is a Jew, but they only think on the individual level. They don't think on the more general level, more universal, because that requires thought. And people don't think like that and about those things. They don't let their thoughts go far beyond their own individual existence and other people's existence. They don't allow their thought to go further than that. But if we think further than that and try to understand that there are different religions, but they're all saying something similar. They all have something in common. There's something higher that encompasses them. And then we can make a little progress beyond the mere immediate, finite, material, we call it material ideas. So that requires some development, the ability to develop a more thoughtful approach to what we're experiencing. And also, we know that spirit is evolving with thought. Spirit means thoughtful. You can't understand spirit unless you're a thoughtful person. We don't see many things with our eyes, with our senses. Eyes and senses don't even understand how we are seeing things, what to speak of, understanding the higher things. Why is it that we can see? People don't ask that question. Oh, I can see, of course. What's the problem? Oh, you see with your eyes. No. The eyes are there for seeing. How does an eye see? You take an eyeball out of the head. It don't see anything. And the iris, it contracts and expands, right? When the light comes, the iris will close. When it's a little darker, the iris will expand, so the eye opening can see more. But if you put an eyeball there, it won't do that. The iris won't do anything. In fact, when a crime occurs, the police come. Sometimes they put the flashlight in the eye of a person lying on the ground. They put the flashlight there in his eye to see if the iris will contract or not. When the light comes, the iris should contract. But if the person is dead, it won't do anything. They know, oh, this person must be dead because there's no response in his eye. That first indication, they don't make that the only criteria. But the point is, it's not the eye that sees, actually. There's something else that's seeing. We see through the eyes. Through the eyes. You can't say a person can see if he has no eyeball. He won't be able to see. But the eye is necessary, but it's not the source of seeing. They find nothing in the eye that will see. So where does the seeing take place? What is seeing? Hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, feeling, all these things. What is it? Now that requires something more than just those senses to understand. And the philosophers have looked into those things and tried to understand where is that coming from. Aristotle is one of the first in the West. And he showed that this is a part of the soul. The seeing sensation is the soul's function. In fact, there are three things. There's that's called feeling. Sensing means feeling. And there's thinking, feeling, and willing. This thinking, feeling, and willing, they're not part of the body. No bodily organs can think or feel or will on their own. Matter doesn't have any initiative like that. The material body, anything in the material body is basically dull. They call it dull matter. It doesn't have its own intelligence or whatever. Their intelligence is coming from something more than just matter. So to investigate and study and meditate on those things that are not found within the body requires thoughtful investigation. And those things can be discovered by reason, logic, and so forth. If we have the uh, uh, desire and ability to enter into those things. And this is what the great sages and saints have done for us and written the books on Vedas, Upanishads, and so forth that explain these things from that deeper level, thoughtful level, than we ordinarily encounter in our own experiences and our own thoughts throughout our lives even. Some people never think about these things their whole life. So that is not considered the best. They are not considered the most educated or knowledgeable persons who don't do that. Spiritual education is a necessary part of human life because we have the capacity, just as so many humans before us who are called saints were able to do that. We are also expected to be able to do that, at least by hearing about it if we cannot do it ourselves, at least by hearing about it, at least by becoming aware of this, and by practicing some simple things like chanting, meditating through chanting, or attending the classes on readings, or going to the temple, seeing the deity, or doing some seva in whatever capacity we have. Seva means service to the Lord. These are the things that are recommended for those who cannot on their own delve into those higher truths or realities that are there and existing, but we just don't think about them. So at least if we can do those primary things that are recommended by the saints in the scriptures, that will give us a good start. And by grace from the higher world, when they see we are very interested in coming to those things, maybe however incapable we may be, they will give us help. They will give us help. So we should not neglect that part of reality with which we may be completely unaware. Anyhow, today is the appearance of Baladev. Now, Baladev is a very significant part of Krishna. He is considered the older brother. You may say, God is the first person, then how did he have an older brother? Krishna is not so easily understood like that. He can have an older brother. Krishna is called the Adipurush. Adipurush means the first person. Then how does he have an older brother? Means he must have come before Krishna. But no. Krishna's older brother, Baladev, is actually considered an expansion of Krishna. And in Krishna's world, the thing is, it's not operated by logic or reason or time or anything like that. It operates on the principle of rasa. Rasa means feeling, affection, love. Those principles are operative there. And Baladev is older because that gives him more service capacity than the younger brother. If Baladev were the younger brother or twin, he would not have the same service as an older brother has. An older brother can protect the younger brother. He can teach him. He can slap him. He can do so many things. Love him, do so many things, so that the younger brother can't do. So it gives Baladev a greater capacity for service as his older brother. And we see that in the pastimes, in the Leela, between Krishna and Balaram. They are brothers, so they have what is called the sakiras, the taste of being related as brother, older brother to younger brother. And that is very relishable. And the pastimes between Baladev and Krishna are found in the scriptures. And they're very sweet to hear. If you get the Krishna book, the 10th chapter of the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, you can read about the pastimes of Baladev and Krishna. And like that, there are many different rasas or tastes within the spiritual realm also. Not only brother, but parenthood, and also conjugal love between Radha and Radharani and Krishna. All are existing there in the higher world that we find existing here in this world. And our purpose is to try to recognize those things in our life, become aware of those things, and how to reach that plane of ultimate perfection, the ultimate fulfillment of life, to go back to the spiritual world with Radha and Krishna and the gopis. And we do that primarily by developing our love through service, loving service. That's called Bhakti Yoga. So what we're practicing and teaching is Bhakti Yoga, how to make gradual progress in the evolution of consciousness to that spiritual dimension. So we can have, participate in those leelas with the Lord and his devotees. And we find that the attempt to participate directly will actually cause us some failure. If we try to go there with some intention, we'll actually experience failure. We will not be able to do it because we maintain our own identity here. We think I can go to that plane. But we find that if we want to get to that plane, we have to give up the present ego, present conception, misconceptions of who I am. And that is only done through Sharanagati, surrender. And that surrender comes through the grace of Guru. So gradually there's a process, and not that you can immediately go from here to there. You have to undergo a process first of reformation of our own identity and mentality. And then through that reformation, through that process, then we may be able to understand how to make progress to that higher reality through surrender and not through aggressive approach. Baladev. Many things can be said about Baladev. We spoke about it yesterday, who he is and how he manifests himself, the things he's responsible for. And Jagannath Puri is one of the few places where you can see Baladev in his deity form. We have in Jagannath Puri, one of the most ancient temples in the world. We have on the altar Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. Krishna, his brother, and his younger sister, and their younger sister, therefore found in Jagannath Puri. And that worship is going on for centuries. There's wonderful ceremonies they have every year, and distribution of immense quantities of prasadam. So they're considered very, very merciful forms of the Lord. And also in some temples you'll find the deity of Krishna and Balaram together. And Prabhupada established those deities, actually, Krishna Balaram deities, in ISKCON in Vrindavan. Very few places you'll find that. Baladev and Krishna. Generally you find Radha and Krishna are just Krishna alone. Anyhow, any questions?
Before we were talking about the significance of Arjuna. If someone asks who Arjuna is, what role he plays in Krishna's Leela, what can we tell them?
What is this again?
What role, if somebody asks who is Arjuna, what role does he play in Krishna Leela? What can we tell them about Arjuna?
Arjuna is a special manifestation of Krishna's friend. The Yadavas in general are considered Sakiras relationship with Krishna in that mood. And Arjuna is especially incarnated to play the role that he did in the Bhagavad Gita, the Mahabharata. Because of course, Arjuna, as his friend, would not be asking so many questions. He would be an exalted Vaishnava as a parishad or personal friend of Krishna. So why was he asking so many questions? That's not normal for the Sakya devotees. So he came and is to fulfill that special role, acting in that way, so that Krishna could speak the Bhagavad Gita, sorry. So not ordinary Sakiras, not ordinary friendship. I don't remember the name that he's given in the spiritual world, but he does have a special name and special position there. Whatever happens here is happening there also. Something is happening in that plane, and that is happening in this plane is like a reflection. A reflection in the water. If something moves, a deer jumps across a log, and the reflection is there of the water. It looks like the deer is jumping across the log also. But the reflection can't jump. And the reflection would not be there if it wasn't for the original. So in the same way, in the spiritual world, things are going on, and it's reflected here in the things that are going on. But in a different sense. We think the things here are going on by the reflection itself. But it can't be. They have to be happening from that higher plane. And then they happen here. And because we are in an illusion of what is what, we can't properly understand the meaning of our lives here. If one reflection in the water tried to understand another reflection in the water, they wouldn't get very far to understand properly. They have to go outside of this reflected state to enter into the original. Then they can understand properly. Did you have kirtan today? And Nagar kirtan, huh?
Yes, Naga Sankirtan.
So, do you have the books, kirtan books, to chant something for us? Srila Prabhupada's appearance. Well, we don't have to chant Prabhupada's appearance today, but we can chant. We can chant something for Guru Tattva.
Should we sing Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya?
Gurudev, okay, if you want.
Did you have something else in mind, Maharaj?
That's okay.
Page 29.
Okay, Sri Guru Charana Padma is maybe more appropriate.
Okay, we fine.
You sing, because I'm not feeling so energetic right now.
Okay, Maharaj. 54. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma
Shri Guru Charana Padma Devala Bhakti Sadma
Kando Muni Savadhana Mate
Bando Muni Savadam Mate
Yahara Prashade Bhai E Bhavatari Ayai
Ye Hara Prashad Bai E Baba Tariya Jai
Krishna Prapti Hayaya Hoite
Krishna Prapti Hayaya Hoite
Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Kariya Aikya
Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Kariya Aikye
Arana Kariha Mane Asa
Arana Kariha Mani Asa
Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Utamagati
Shri Guru Charane Rati Esi Uttamagati
Ye Prashade Pure Sarva Asa
Ye Prashada Puri Sarva Anse
Chakshadhana Dilaye Janme Janme Prabhu Se
Jaksudi Dena Daliye Jani Jani Prabhu Se
Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashita
Divya Jana Hirde Prakasita
Prema Bhakti Yaha Hoite Ya Vidya Vinyasa Yate
Prema Bhakti Yahi Hoite Hati Avidya Vinasa Yate
Vede Gaya Yahara Charita
Vede Gaya Yahara Charita
Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janara Bandhu
Sri Guru Karuna Sindhu Athamadranara Bandhu
Lokanatha Lokera Jivana.
Lokanatha Lokera Jivana
Haha Prabhu Korodaya Deha More Parachaya.
Haha Prabhu Karadaya Deha More Padachaya
Eya Dhamma Laila Sarana.
Eyadama Lali Ila Sarana
Ami Saranilam.
Ami Saranilam
Abhaya Sripada Padme Saranilam.
Abhaya Sri Pade Padme Saranilam
Amai Doya Korohe.
Amai Daya Korahe
Pati Pavan Shri Gurudev Daya Korohe.
Pati Pavan Sri Guru Dev Daya Karehe
Adhama Patita Jene Daya Korohe.
Adhama Patita Jene Daya Karehe
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev
Jaya Jaya Baladev, 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 Jaya Jaya Baladev.
Jaya Jaya Baladev 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 Jaya Jaya Baladev
Jai Gora Pramanandi, Hari Hari Bo.
Hari Bol.
Then maybe Tony, you like to read the English of that song?
From the very beginning. Okay. I carefully offer my obeisance. Actually, my eyes are going blurry. Obeisance to Sri Guru's lotus feet, which are the sole abode of devotion. O brother, by His mercy, we cross over this world and reach Krishna. Make the teachings from Sri Guru's lotus mouth one with your heart, and do not desire anything else within your heart. Attachment to Sri Guru's feet is the best path. By His mercy, all desires are fulfilled. He who gave me the gift of eyes is my Lord, birth after birth. He maintained divine knowledge in my heart. He gives prima bhakti and destroys ignorance. The Vedas sing of the character. Sri Guru is an ocean of mercy and the friend of the fallen. He is the Lord and life of all people. O Master, be merciful. Give me the shade of your feet. This fallen soul has taken shelter of you. I have taken shelter. I have taken shelter at your lotus feet, where there is no fear. Please be merciful to me. O Sri Gurudev, Savior of the fallen, please be merciful to me. Understanding that I am lowly and fallen, be merciful to me. All glory to you, Sri Gurudev. O Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
That was the end of it.
Oh, that's the end of it. Yeah, that's really good. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice meaning. Very nice meaning in English. Peaceful.
So, all right, I'll let you all decide what you want to do now. Go home or end your day.
I have to kind of get organized for my weekday work week. Yeah. Lunch preparation, cleaning, packing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
No, thank you for the guidance and aid,
Yes.
gratitude.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Haribol.
Hari Bol. Madhava.
Jai Srila Prabhupada, True Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Charyadev Ki Jai. Jai Srila Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Baladev Purnima Ki Jai. Nitai Gora Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Jai Bhakti Vedanta ki jai.
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 Hare Krishna.